Alright guys, sorry about that. I didn't know my video cut off on me. I'm trying to do this by myself. So I believe the video cut off at me trying to install this wire. So let me re-record all this. So yes, the wire will get in there, but it is difficult. Take all this back off just to show you once again. As you can tell through my tone, I am kind of pissed off that my camera did not record all of this. Alright, as you can tell, it's me taking it off. You have to really shove it up in there and then find that sweet spot and pull it back. Most of the time you don't have to do it, but for this machine you really have to go in at an angle. And then you can put your thing back on, find it, there you go. Put your spring on. Put your little nut on here. If I can get it to start. There we go. Tighten that up. So, one thing we missed was that this here, when you shut this lid on this roller for this material that I have, I'll put it in backwards. When you put it in, you can kind of feel that it's touching that roller. I found this out by when I started feeding the wire through the machine. It was catching on something, it was clicking, and I was like, what in the world? I kept looking, and I finally realized this touches the roller. So luckily it was easy to pop out, fix the issue, just use one clamp. As they did in this welder. So you got everything in there. You got your machine here. Let's see, I had all this here before. We'll turn it on. So this welder has a lot of features on this thing. Hopefully you can see all these. You have a selector for volts and your amps or wire speed, I guess. Yeah. So there's your speed. Every time you turn this without touching anything, it goes straight to speed. And you have to hit this to change your volts. And then you have this is a wire feed button. Then you have a knob button. This goes through a lot of settings. I'm not going to go through all these, but if you buy the machine, it's got a lot of things like hot start, in current temperature, start current temperature, inductance, which is one I use a lot, and it has all these different features. Of course, one knob that controls a lot of these. Then you have a method button. It goes from regular MIG to synergic MIG to stick, and then lift arc TIG. So, and the lift arc TIG does work pretty good on this. I have tried them. Both on these machines, they work great. We'll go back to regular. Then you have a gas button. You have a CO2. Then you have your mix, which is usually 75-25. And then no gas for your flux core, no gas. And then you have this OP. So I was like, what in the world does this OP mean? It took me a while. And I emailed them. I was like, hey, what does OP on the gas selector mean? Finally get an email back saying it's optional for if you want to do MIG welding or aluminum MIG welding, which the reason why I bought this machine because it said aluminum welding machine. So this is to hook up your pure argon and to change your settings for your aluminum wire. But they don't give you the Teflon liner to put in your MIG gun or the roller for aluminum wire, which should be a U-shaped roller. And then you have your wire selector. And it doesn't go to 1.2 even though there's a selector for it. None of these settings go to 1.2, which I don't tend to use 1.2 anyway, but It goes 1.0, 0.8, and 0.6. And I like this machine because you can really fine tune it, especially with the hot start and inductance and all this to get it dialed in just like you like it. So that's pretty much that machine. It does not come with, I think I've already mentioned it prior, but it does not come with the gas hose, which I think it should. And then I'll show you a little bit of this 205. There is a lot of machines, a lot of videos out there that talk about this machine. The back of this one has a little easier switch, and it has the gas connector for both ends of your gas hose, versus that one has just the fit over it. And I feel like this fan is slightly stronger, or it's just more noisier than the one on that one. But I've used both of them, and they both performed lovely, just great. This one over here on my left. So, inside this machine, it came with extra tips, and if I can find it, I didn't lose it already. There it is. The knurled roller for your flux core. Alright, and now you have your 2T, 4T, your MIG CO2, your MIG 7525, your stick, your lift arc TIG, and gasless. Then you select your wire thickness. You can feed your wire without turning the gas on, or you have a gas button to purge your gas. Then you have this menu button right up here. You can go through it. It has your amps first, then you have your material thickness. This machine truly works on synergic capabilities, which is you tell it the thickness and it kind of gets you in the ballpark of what you need. It'll make it work. Then you have your volts. You go up or down, or minus 10 or positive 10, and that will say you got your material thickness on 1/8 inch, which is going to be, this is all metric. It's going to be somewhere around 2.8 to 3. Then you go over to volts. I have it on positive 6, so that's going to turn that suggested voltage up some amount, not 6 amps or anything, but it just turns it up higher, because I like a little hotter start, or I like to do mine a little hotter with a slower wire speed. I like to control mine a little bit more than what they have it set at. And then you have inductance, which I like a 7. I played with it a lot. It's the negative numbers give you a little taller weld, a little harsher, a little bit more splatter, but it does penetrate pretty good. And then the positive side flattens it out a little bit, blends things in a little bit more, it gives you a little bit less splatter. This one is a great machine. If you don't know a lot about MIG welders in general, or how to set up a MIG welder, this one's great. You can pick this up fairly cheap on Amazon and get to work. Even if you don't have gas, you can get you some flux core gasless wire and go to town, and it's about 30 pounds. So, and it has the 110 and 220 capabilities. Turn this one off. This welder does not have 110 capabilities, only 220. So it's not as portable as this one is, just because of that feature. They weigh about the same. I wish it did have the 110 and 220 capabilities. But this one does have the capability of welding aluminum. But you do have to buy the Teflon liner and have to buy the U-shaped roller. Other than that, that should be the end of this video. And if I've missed anything else, you'll see another video. Alright, thanks.